If you want to 10x your business and have time freedom, incentivize your team. You want to have your team that enrolled where they literally do not want to miss out on their incentives. They are so good. I'm talking about never assume that people know what the you're thinking. It does make an ass out of you. I don't care how intuitive you think you are. You owe it to your staff to actually ask them questions and to make sure that they understand where you're coming from. Female entrepreneurs, they become the biggest bottleneck in their business. And this is what leads to your burnout. So it's really important that we are able to welcome Wisdom Keepers, Soul Tribe, and New Earth leaders to Soul Temple, your haven for growth and self-discovery. I am Blythe Langford, and I'm going to be your guide to helping you find yourself and your true purpose. Together, let's shift from feeling stuck and misaligned to living a life of purpose and pleasure and prosperity. Today, we are talking about really practical steps to get your 6-figure business to 7 figures or your 7-figure businesses to multiple 7 and 8-figure businesses. I am super passionate about creating the most simplest, flowing, feminine way to take your business from wherever it is now to wherever you want to be with ease and grace and flow. Just to give you a little bit of a backstory, I worked for a billion-dollar brand, purchased 3 of their businesses, their top salons in Sydney that were in 6 figures of high debt. I turned them into 7+ figure businesses. The first one became profitable within a few months. The debt was completely paid off within 1 year. I was able to turn the second one into debt into profit within 3 months. And then the third one was actually our flagship store that had been there for 20 plus years, and it had never been profitable ever. And they had got the best of the best in our industry in there to transform this business so it could be profitable. And nobody had succeeded. And even the heads of the company thought that I wouldn't be able to do it as well. However, with my approach, this soft, beautiful, gentle, fierce, feminine that is inclusive and is all about my team, I was able to take the team members that were the lowest producing in our company to the highest producing within a few weeks. So they were able to 4x their wages each and every week. That is not only life-changing, but to that person, but also to their family and their loved ones, because their whole paradigm shifts. So my style of leadership and my style of taking a business from wherever it is to what you want it to be is a very feminine-based leadership way that is extremely inclusive of all, that is nurturing not only to the individual, you, the business owner or the leader, because your foundations of safety, security, and freedom need to be met as well as the team, so that you can all nurture and grow and be nourished together in this growth and transformational space. Because the most important thing is that, number one, it goes from you to them. I'm going to explain all of this, but what I see the biggest challenge for female entrepreneurs is that they become the biggest bottleneck in their business. And that is so fucking hard to hear. What? I'm the one that's doing all the work. I'm the one that da-da-da-da. Yes, babe, you are. And you are the bottleneck, controlling everything and holding everything up. You're the one preventing your team from taking over things that you don't even like to do, actions and tasks that you actually hate doing, but you're so good at them that nobody else can do it as good as you. But what if they were to teach you and they were to be better than you? And so it's allowing yourself to come back into divine femininity rather than this juvenile feminine that's like, I don't want to be anybody to be better than me. I don't want to be jealous of anybody. See that toxic or that juvenile masculine and feminine energy that's playing out unconsciously in your mind? Well, that's what I love helping people with, because once we can come back into our divine femininity and our divine masculine energy, then of course we want our younger people or our team to be able to, we see them like not our children, but we see them like, the beautiful expression of us. If our leadership is that magnetic and fantastic and we're able to pass on our wisdom to our team, then of course they're going to be better than us. And that's what we want. We in a business want to make ourselves obsolete. And I know that can be really challenging when we have complete control over our business, but this is something for you to become aware of, because if you don't want to alleviate some of that control, to your team, then you're always going to be the bottleneck in your business. And this is what leads to your burnout. This is what has you feeling misaligned and out of balance and out of integrity and triggered when your team do things that are wrong or better than you or any of these things. It's just this unbalanced energy that is this juvenile part of yourself that is unhealed, that is unworthy, that is jealous, that is triggered. So it's really important that we are able to work through and grow through these traits that are coming up within us. Because if we do not, we will continue to be the bottleneck in our business, and we will also continue to feel like shit when these traits come up rather than ever growing and evolving through them. So that's why I believe this divine, embodied feminine leadership really involves empowering your team. I've talked about it before because I honestly believe that you taking on all the responsibility all the time is so disempowering to your team. Your team are literally working in your business and they're working for you. And how can you then shift your mentality from being all about your clients to allowing your team to be all about your clients? And then your team actually become like your clients. You get to put that much energy, support into your team so that they can get the aspects and the elements of you that are necessary so that they can become little like yous, right? Little mini yous, so that then they can go and be amazing leaders, so that they can go and close all your sales, so that they can go and do the amazing marketing. Then when a new team member comes in, they can also step up and educate those team members. Doesn't that sound refreshing? Like, you don't have to do everything, babe. You just don't. I know that's scary, but it's also fucking awesome, because don't you want to have more holidays where your staff members don't call you on holidays and they actually, when you show up at work, they're like, oh my gosh, I love you so much. Thank you so much for being here. But how long are you going to be here? Because you actually take me away from my work and I love you so much, but I actually want to make loads of money for you today and you're inhibiting my growth. Babe, it's confronting and it's the best. Let me tell you, it is so nice. So, which brings me to my next point, which is number 2, delegation. Now, a lot of people think they're great delegators, right? But there is a full-blown art to delegation. And I think that this is one of my key strengths, is the art of delegation. This is what I teach all of my feminine leaders to, and the men as well. I've had a lot of male clients, but allowing my women to be able to step into their mature feminine and be able to delegate to a team member completely shifts the paradigm of leadership. It means that you can effectively step away from the day-to-day operations. Melting in my seat. Doesn't that sound yum? Because we're so caught up on these day-to-day operations, yet they're also the things that fucking drive us mad that we don't want to do. So when we're focusing on scaling strategically and doing so in a feminine creative way with intuition, delegation. This allows us to figure out who we are also outside of our business. Now, what I mean by that is this delegation, when we're allowing ourselves the opportunity to delegate to our team members and then holding them accountable, training them, teaching them through what they're learning and growing through, allowing them to make mistakes, allowing them to come into their own creative flow with it, allowing them to trust you that you're not going to be a freaking asshole every time they make a mistake. Instead, you know, if they weren't making mistakes, they weren't growing. And in order for them to make mistakes and for you to be able to hold them in that and be like, love, you tried so well. That's amazing. Thank you so much for taking that risk. That takes a lot of courage. And what do you think the outcome of that was? You know, like, and going through that with them. I used to let my staff make so many mistakes, and it was beautiful because they'd be like, oh my gosh, I fucked up. I'm like, yeah, babe, it's not a fuck up. It's a learning. Like, it's amazing. What do you think is the next best outcome or path of action that we could potentially make? And they would come up with it themselves. They would be intuitive. They would be innovative, and the business would thrive. And the clients were so much happier because there wasn't this stagnant energy within the team. They were so motivated and innovative that it blew my mind that they ended up coming up with better things than I could come up with after, 20 years of being in the business. It was amazing. And this means when you delegate, it gives you time. It gives you time, freedom. Yummiest words ever, right? Because every business owner is like, I got into business because I thought I'd be able to have time, freedom. And all of a sudden, you got no time. That's because your delegation isn't working. When you're able to delegate, it allows you to step away from your business so that your creativity can be put not only in your business, but elsewhere. Because so many business owners are codependent with their business. Their business is them. They are nothing outside of their business. And that's why I've said this in multiple episodes, is that when entrepreneurs step outside of their business or when they retire, so many of them get sick. They have no idea who they are in the world. They have no idea what turns them on besides business. And that's awesome. I'm also one of those people that is turned on by business. And oh my gosh, the world out here, everything besides your business. Holy moly. There's a whole lot of bliss waiting for you that will nourish you on so many layers and levels, that will nourish your soul beyond what having fuck tons of money in your bank account can. Yes, it's possible. I hear you saying, that is not possible. I love money. You love money because that's where you get your worthiness from. Because there is no these other spaces of bliss somewhere else where you get this bliss, love, nourishment, fuck yes energy, you know? So if you can have the great wealth and the great abundance within your business, whilst you are also going getting bliss from somewhere else, divine union of amazingness and sensuality comes back into your life, and you can stop being codependent with your business. And then again, of course, it empowers your team to step up. It gives them breathing room. It gives them growth. It gives you growth. It gives you bliss. They get to take risks. They're mentored by this amazing person that's creating all this creativity and this freedom in their life. And then they're actually inspired by you, right? Because you're going and doing all these amazing things in the world. Remember, half of your team work for you because they want your life. So if you're all just about your business, then that can become relentlessly boring for your team, because they're like, yeah, it was great working for her at the start because I could see that she was all about money, and now I'm making all this amazing money, but I also see that there's nothing else to her besides that her life is hollow and shallow. And I feel sorry for her. And I've been that person that I have felt very sorry for, that had amazing $1 million businesses, teams that were thriving, and yet I was in there relentlessly to make sure they didn't do anything wrong, to make sure that they stepped up, to make sure they weren't late, to make sure they stayed there till the end of the day. And I loved them so much. My team became my family. And then one day I realized they went home to their families and they had more days off than me. And whilst I had more money than them, they were so much freer than me. And that was a pivotal point in my life where I changed everything. And I allowed my team to step up so that I could also be in love with my life outside of my business, so that I could open up space to bring in a partner, to bring in divine love. And I obviously found that love within myself. And yeah, it changed my life forever. So I just would love for you to consider what you lose by being codependent with your business. I would love for you to consider what you lose by being codependent, obsessive, and controlling with your business. It's really important to think about. I hope you are loving this episode, but I'm just giving it a pause here because I want to tell you about a really amazing masterclass I have. It's totally free. We'll pop it in the show notes below. It goes through a really cool soul activation so that you can get to the depths of your purpose and also help you uncover why you're here on this planet, what you're really passionate about, go through how to create a blueprint, how you can actually action that into the world. So I highly recommend you looking out for this masterclass. It's called Missions for Millions. And it will allow you to go to greater depths within your soul, within your spirit, within your life, all of the things. It's yummy. So get on it, guys. Back to the episode. I hope you are loving it. Whilst we go into now operations and systems and procedures which I personally believe is the most bridging of the masculine and feminine traits, because this area can seem so masculine and so unsexy for so many women. So we just avoid it and put it off. And that's why we have so much chaos and so much disorder and unorganization in our businesses. But why don't we do it in a creative, fun way? Like, why does it have to be so like, oh my God, I'm going to sit down and write these manuals, which I also love doing. I'm a Capricorn and a Virgo. But like, how can we do it in another way where it's so fun and creative? Think about it. Create videos. Create an online library for new team members that when they come in, everything is set up on an online library. Every time you train a new staff member, you have to go through that process, or somebody has to go through the process of training that person on the business, on the processes and procedures and how you like things done, the operations, all of it. And so somebody is going to be doing that regularly in your business. So why don't we use our creativity and our fun and our play to do it once in a video, and then have that video be part of, a library, like I said, where new employees can literally just come in, they go through the videos, and then they've got those training guides. And whenever you have an issue with anything, you can be like, refer to the video on procedures 5A that will give you that tool, the blah, blah, blah. Or maybe it's like, okay, I need you to do some development within your client, how you speak with clients, or our client satisfaction module. Go and watch the video on this. Every time you get pissed off when somebody hasn't done something that you want them to do, create a video around that. Every time something pops up. So it doesn't need to be you sitting down and just doing this one thing at one moment in time. It can be something that you're always growing and evolving. When I had my businesses, my operations manual, I changed it regularly because I wanted my team to evolve, and I wanted to evolve with my team and our business to evolve as well. So I would update things regularly, and it would really keep the team inspired as well. And I would also get a lot of their feedback on other training videos as well. And then also you can get the team to create videos so that they're invested. And when your team are invested and enrolled in your business like that, mate, they consider it their own business and they actually never want to leave. And they're inspired to create more things for your brand, for you, and for your clients too. And it just means that your business becomes this well-oiled machine where everything just flows really well. And that is the best when your business does that. I used to love closing the door, leaving my business, leaving my teams. I'd be like, okay. They'd be like, can you please leave now? I'd be like, okay, I'm going to close the door. Like, go to the beach or something. Just get the hell out of the business. I'd be like, okay, great. This is the best day of my life. It was so good. So I would love that for you as well. And we also want to make sure that we're creating structures that support time and wealth freedom for you as the leader, but then also as your team. So allowing you to operate your business in a way that serves you both financially and for your well-being, your health as well. I personally believe that once you implement these processes and procedures and you streamline your operations, you give yourself the gift of time back, and then you can focus on being creative with them. So your innovation and strategy becomes feminine and flowy rather than male dominant enforced dictatorship, which we've been there, we've done it. It doesn't inspire anybody, and it also makes us sick. So be fun and playful with it. I touched on this a little bit, but I want to go back into it. So your focus would come from your clients to your team, because what you want to do, like I said, is create little mini versions of yourself. Because when you do that, you will literally see that there's only one of you, right? You can only do so much. So let's say you're doing all of your sales and you want to have time off. But what if you had 5 team members doing that for you? Then that would 5x your sales. But what if they actually did it full time and you only did it part time previously? Then you could maybe 10x your sales, right? And especially if you've got, like I said previously, the systems and the procedures set up for an organization rather than just a small business, and I'll talk into that in a minute, then everything can change. You're really fostering that respect within your team. And then you can incentivize them amazingly as well, because your team, when you sit down with them, they'll either want your energy, your time, I mean, not as energy vampires, but they'll want more time with you And you can do that through, dinners and outings and things like that. Or they'll want more money, they'll want more time off, they'll want more holidays, freedom. They're the kind of flavors of what staff actually want. Or some of them want education as well. I mean, all of those things. And so as a divine feminine leader, then it's like, okay, cool, this is what my team members want. How can I create a incentive model where they are potentially commission-based, because they would never get their base rates. Like my team would never get their base wages because the incentives were too fucking good, like they would do anything. They would literally spend their own money sometimes in the business if they hadn't hit a target so that they could hit their target for that week. So they would go and buy products or services themselves. I'm like, dude, you sure you want to do that? They're like, I'm not missing out on my commissions. Don't let me not do this. I am fucking doing this, Blythe. I'm like, okay, you want to spend money in the business? That's fine. You want to have your team that enrolled where they literally do not want to miss out on their incentives. They are so fucking good. So I'm talking overseas holidays. I'm talking education in other countries that turns them on so much. I'm talking about having different incentive structures for commission rates where there is always another level and layer for them to grow to, because they need to see the top, right? Because if you've just put like, this is your bonus if you get it, and there's one, 9 times out of 10, they won't get it. They need to see multiple incentives of where they can grow so that they can see that there is no ceiling in your business. If you do that, we'll 10x your business. The third point that I really want to touch on is creating a mission statement, an ethos, and an outcome. Every single team member needs to know where and why and how and what the core mission of the business is and your vision. So many business owners are like, yeah, my team know everything that I want. How? Have you written it down, or have you told them once? Your team are like you. We forget shit, especially like, when they've been there a bit of time and all of these things happen. You can't expect them to remember one thing that you told them once in their interview. Like, that's psychopathy. Like, that's crazy. Do not expect anything from your team like that. Like, seriously, it is so important that they're able to see the vision and the mission and the ethos each and every day. Print it up in big letters, have it around your staff room, make sure that they have it around their office if they're working from home, give them like a little plaque so that they can put it on their wall, something. It is vitally important for everybody to remember why they're working. And for yourself as well, it's vitally important for you to remember what your vision is, the lives that you're changing, who you are helping, who you're supporting. What is the greatest outcome for all of humanity when your business is thriving? Because then it will allow you to be inspired. And when you're inspired, your team are inspired and they will work 10 times harder. Never assume that people know what the fuck you're thinking. It does make an ass out of you. I don't care how intuitive you think you are. You owe it to your staff to actually ask them questions and to make sure that they understand where you're coming from, that they understand your ethos and that they will be motivated and self-motivated and want to show up and grow your business. Because if somebody's inspired by your vision, they will be like, I'm not going to bed tonight. And you don't want that, but it's like, I'm not going to bed tonight. I'm going to stay back late because, I really want to hit this because then these people are going to be rewarded from that. And you'll probably find that a lot of your staff, their greatest values are safety, security, and they really give a shit about people. So allow them to get inside your head, to know your ethos so that they can grow your brand, your business, and they can support more of your clients. Allow them to assert themselves so that their version of client satisfaction will 10x as well. It's literally the magic source of a business is to have an ethos and mission statement so that people can contribute to your bigger picture. Now, the next point I really want to touch on is openness. Oh, it makes me melt a little bit when I say it. Being open, encouraging openness. This will crack your team open. And also clients as well. Allow openness to be there. And it's such a good growth measure for the individual as well, for you as the business owner or leader. When you encourage this openness, it allows your staff to start to become authentic and vulnerable and courageous with you. And when you've been a controlling business owner, it's a tough pill to swallow sometimes. When people tell you the truth, you don't want to hear it. But guess what? You tell them the truth all the time. So it's time that we take back some of our own medicine and actually allow allow openness to be part of our business, because you want everybody to be open with you. Really, you do, because then that's when your business can grow. And that's when your team will actually start to crack open their mindset as well, because so many team members have a really closed mindset because they've been shut down in the past, right? And so they are, unfortunately, sorry to everybody that's listened to this, but they are still in that programmed slave mentality. And it's up to us as leaders to break them out of that so that they can come back to their natural organic state of being innovative, powerful, and resourceful and resilient and having amazing ideas. So your openness and you're allowing their openness really encourages that. So ask the team to, and it takes time as well, ask the team to be really honest with you and just say to them, look, at times I'm going to be triggered by the things that you say. I'm growing through this as well, but let's do this together. Let's be open together. And it's not about, them telling you something and then you being triggered and you being like, well, then this, da, 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 and you projecting that back. No, you get to be the mature one and you get to absorb the information that they tell you, think about it, and then create a great solution with that moving forward. Even better, what I did with my team once I'd started doing this for a long period of time is I'd always say to my team, I want you to come and be open with me and tell me the issues that are there. And I also want you to tell me the solution, so that they would then go beyond just being in their juvenile or toxic masculine or femme as well, that they would then go into their mature masculine or femme energy, and then they would figure out the solution and fuck the changes in my business. It was amazing. I no longer had a team of people that were dependent on me, but I had a team of problem solvers that were fucking intuitive, that no matter what showed up, they were able to deal with it. It was so cool. I literally made myself redundant. Or, sorry, to my team and I made me redundant so that they could be leaders. We all then, from that growth, got time and wealth freedom. And isn't this what it's all about? Time and wealth freedom. We all opened up businesses because we wanted more time freedom and we wanted more money. Well, what if you got that, but your team got that too? So allowing this risk adversity is so beautiful. They can prevent fires in your business so that you don't have to put them out. The next point I want to touch on is KPIs. Now, this stands for key performance indicators. Now, what these are a solution. Like, a lot of people are like, KPI is so boring, so annoying. But if you think of them like a solution to a bottleneck. So that's what I used to do. I used to see within my business where there was issues or where people weren't doing things to standard, and I created a key performance indicator around that. So for example, even in my salons, it was, okay, people weren't caring enough. I didn't feel like there was enough care. Like, this is when I was really spiritual, right? Still really spiritual, but in the business, I was like, I just want them to have like deep care and nurturing for the clients, like take it to the next level. So I had a key performance indicator created called Care Factor. And my staff really wanted this Care Factor as well. They're like, yeah, we really want to care for these clients more. That's why we got into this industry. So as a team, we were like, what's an indicator that we can create that will show us and prove to us that they really felt really cared for? So for us, it was when the client rebooked. They were like, fuck yes, I feel so cared for. Yes, I want to come back and see you. So it's like the rebookings then became Care Factor. So that was one of the bottlenecks that we really honed in on. And once we as a team created that as a KPI, oh my gosh, their rebookings went from 20% to 80%. And my guys that had been there for a long time, they would be on 90 to 90, like sometimes 100% of rebookings. It's unfucking heard of, right? In hairdressing, it's unfucking heard of. But that was the trajectory. That was the growth that my team had. So can you imagine looking into your calendar of your teams and, in 6 weeks, 9 weeks, 12 weeks, 6 months, they're completely booked out? How much would that turn you on? Because you can create in your mind, or you can literally just do a report on your computer of how much money is actually going to be coming into your business. And then you can actually see how fucking worthy your team are of being there. Not only worthy, but how much they are the ones that are growing your business. And then in your mind, you can go from shifting from all of your attention being on the clients to, wow, I can shift all of my attention to being on my staff so that they can nourish these clients, because the clients actually fucking love them because they have got the best elements of you within them from the leadership that you've created. So that's why I want you to really look at all of these places within your business that fucking piss you off and create a beautiful KPI around it. And if you can, get your team involved in it. This is the area where I'm having issue. And never blame anybody. It's like, it's not about you guys. It's obviously a part of this business that I've overlooked. So I want to, with your help, really create an area where we can create a KPI around it, where I can actually incentivize you to do an amazing job with it. So what can we do to work together where I can support you to be even better caretakers of our clients or better caretakers of our business? And when you have this different maternal, yummy, feminine approach, my gosh, watch your business. Like I said, my business growth went from 20, 30% rebookings. It was probably 20%, let's be honest, to 80 to 100%. That is such huge growth. So just what that can do to your bottom line, oh my gosh, seriously, it creates so much freedom and financial ease. Ugh, it's so good. It's such a turn on. It's sensual in every single way. So allow that to be another beautiful part of your business KPIs rather than being top-down masculine leadership. It gets to be that beautiful feminine leadership that you enroll your team in as well. Work smarter. Don't work harder. Allow your femininity and your care in your leadership to shine through you so your team feel that. Because when they feel your energy, they feel alive too. And that's what everybody wants. Everybody wants to feel more alive, more loved, more nourished. And for any of you that would love to incorporate feminine leadership into your business, to have somebody that's worked for $1 billion brand, that's created multi-7-figure businesses, that's also helped other women step into their divine leadership and men as well, then let me know, reach out, book a call, and let's create a strategy. And this isn't a sales call either. I only work with people that want to work with me. I only work with people where I feel a heart resonance, because if I don't, then it's not aligned. So don't worry, I'm not going to sell you. I'm not into hard sales. I'm not about filling my containers to full capacity or anything like that. I'm actually just about collaboration and working with individuals that actually want to grow their capacity of self-worth, that can flow into their business, that can flow into their team, and taking your business from a business, a small business, to an organization that has beautiful structures and functionality and organization and is supportive of their team, of their clients, and has a great vision. Or maybe you want to create a great vision and ethos, or maybe you just want to really feel time freedom again and learn to love yourself as well as your business and not be a codependent. And if so, then maybe my space, the Sacred Women's Business, would be perfect for you. So book a call. You can find the link in my bio. You can find it in the show notes below, depending on what platform you're listening on. Let's take you from 6 or 7 figures to multi-7 figures or 8 figures, depending on where you're at. If I'm not the one for you, then I can generally either help you with where you're at, create a little bit of a plan for you that you can action out yourself, or I can put you in touch with somebody else that might be a better fit to work together. Thank you for this beautiful episode. Thank you for stepping into your divinity and your femininity and having your business nourish you and all of those beings around you. Much love, beautiful people. Thank you so much for joining me on Soul Temple. If this episode spoke to your soul, I would love your support with a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And don't forget, please subscribe on your favorite platform too. Don't let your journey end here. Connect with me and my like-minded community of beautiful souls at Blythe Langford on all social platforms. I look forward to diving with you deeper on your journey.